psyop, really, this narrative that I think that, and I think you're the same too, that the UK state are pushing. I thought it was starting to peter out because I didn't really hear too much
Yeah.
buzz around it. But again, it seems to be back again. I thought it was basically a failed kind of narrative, a failed. They obviously want people to rise up, mostly the indigenous English people or your British people to rise up, and I think basically it's just a fed up essentially to basically round up any dissidents,
Yeah.
culling in a way. But now
Yeah.
it's come back in the last week or so. I mean, what I've just showing how it was an old Paul Joseph Watson video from 6 months ago, and how the police they were via someone's drone footage that flew over this secret police training facility in Kent, is that they're training for basically fake riots or whatever, fake protests, where they're clearly training for basically, you see a lot of them with British flags on their shoulders. So they're clearly training for what we believe is this supposed civil war fed up that is coming, and I think that is, I think it's enough. That is to say that this is anyone pushing the civil war narrative. Clearly, it's not really for the
Well,
best.
as I keep saying to people, the purpose of any war or battle is to win. I'm saying to people that there's no point in getting yourself nicked, or doing something stupid, because they're looking for opportunities to get you. And it ended up that they were part of another one group, but they went and joined another group when a security services operative encouraged them to go away and become more extreme. And now these guys are doing like 17 years in prison for preparation of acts of terrorism, when it looks more like they were loners, they were kind of larping, they were and I just say this to everybody, like, be very, very, very wary of who you're talking to, and
Is
be
that was
very
that done
wary.
on? Was that were they prosecuted under Terrorism Act? Were they?
Yes, yeah, they were done under the
And that's because
Terrorism Act.
because I think then because that is essentially entrapment, isn't it? Especially if
It
there's a
is.
security, a state agent that is basically convincing you to become more radicalized. But I think the Terrorism Act then kind of super
It
it
does.
basically
It does.
nullifies
Well, do you
entrapment.
know what it is? It's also pre-crime. It's
Yeah,
pre-crime because they've not actually committed a. I mean, I could understand. Once upon a time, the cops would have waited till these guys were, like, say they were outside a building and they had, like, they were tooled up. Then the cops would go in and they would get them. I mean, I think fair enough. Like, the police have done it, and they'll stop you there. And then, whereas now what they're saying is they're stopping them before it even gets to that stage, and it's a bit like, well, would they have gone and done it? And again, I'm not defending them. I think they were a bit naive, but they've had huge prison sentences. And this again, they've brought this in from America, where all these things are real fed ops.
courts throwing the book at hate speech but going soft on grooming gangs. Instead, build parallel systems, community defense that doesn't give feds a photo op, train, organize quietly, protect your own without laughing into a trap. Anyone pushing civil war this week, screenshot their profile. There's a high chance they're on a list or connected to the authorities. I think that is an absolutely perfect, realistic interpretation of what what the country is at the moment. There's going to be there's going to be no great, like I said, if people fall for this upright, this civil war narrative, the only issue, the only people that are going to get done are it's basically just a fed up to basically arrest any form of dissidents in the country. NSM have a legal injunction preventing them from reporting this. So do you believe? So again, this kind of feeds into my kind of belief that these recent attacks that I read out earlier there is that it seems as though I think that they have been allowed to occur in order to further push this civil war narrative, and they're trying to really spark off something here, and they're just desperate, and we're going to keep getting these attacks. There's probably going to be one tomorrow or today even. Do you know what I mean? That it's just kind of fueling this. What's so what why do you believe that that this has occurred then?
Well, I think they released a lot of people, and as I said, if you read the article in the London Standard, it is kind of coded language. They talk about how it was an incident in London. They said it is by far and away the worst thing that they've ever seen. And again, your reaction to that could be, well, Shabana Mahmood's incompetent, the justice system's incompetent, or they've happily released very dangerous people onto the streets, knowing that bad things could happen as a result of that. I mean, like, that is a big thing, like Robert F. Kennedy being assassinated in a hotel lobby. That's something that's you're gonna remember for years to come. Like, no one's gonna remember this Huntingdon attack even in like a week or two. So it needs to be things that are, I think, when the security services are involved, are big, like the Omagh bombing, like 7/7, like the Manchester Arena attack, like 9/11. I think that anything that has organization to it and is a huge event, I think is where the security services really are involved.